If you're new here, my name is Rain. If you're not new here, welcome back. I really appreciate you stopping on by to my little corner of the internet. Y'all remember when I said I wanted to do scientific illustration? I think I might regret that statement, and I might be changing my mind about everything. That is partially a joke, but if you choose to draw along with me, or make anything whilst watching my video, be sure to tag me or tell me down below if it's something you want to share. I love the community part of the art community. You know what I mean? We're a little corner, and I like to see all the art in the corner if possible. But I have a very outdated zoology textbook that I got for less than $1. I mean, I got all 6 of these books in the series for less than $1. It was like $1 a box. So it's one of my go-to books if I want inspiration for scientific illustration, or I'm inking and I just want something that feels old. I don't know if that makes sense, but a lot of the time when I'm inking something that's not a character, I want something that just kind of feels very classic for my inspiration. I don't know. Maybe it's just kind of how I started, but I'm a really huge fan of ink illustrations, particularly scientific illustrations, or those people who like have the heart to them to do really intense ink work drawings. People who stipple and enjoy it, those people, I love that stuff. Could never be me. I do not have the patience to stipple. If my life depended on it, I would not survive, right? So, mad respect for those people. And I really like to look at the stuff, and it's pretty common in these kind of old zoology, botany, biology textbooks, so I like collecting them when they're really cheap and I can just have them, you know. It's mostly text, but the drawings are really nice. Today I am inking a sketch I did the previous night of Lobaria pulmonaria, and I got confused by my own sketch multiple times in this video, and it was tedious, but I did not think that these drawings would take me quite as long as they are. So if you guys want to see more of this content, like you're watching it and you're like, wow, I really like watching some nice casual inking videos, let me know. I have like now 14 to 19 more of these to create, right? And so I will be accumulating a lot of footage, or, well, a lot of art that I can make footage out of, if you guys want to see it and you guys like this type of content. Otherwise, I'll probably only make document a couple of them, or make shorts, because I am very proud of this type of work. I really do love the stuff that I hand ink. I very much love the process of just holding a pen and slowly chipping away at hatching and shading and stuff like that. This is something that I very, very thoroughly enjoy. Inking and line work is kind of my stronger suit in art. I know a lot of my videos I've been kind of going crazy with color and doing stuff that's not actually really even in my wheelhouse, so it might be hard to tell for people who haven't been here particularly long, but strong ink work is generally what I'm the best at. Hatching, layering, and it's really fun to go back to this kind of classic line art thing that doesn't allow me to incorporate those more playful aspects of my art style, like the random circles everywhere, the kind of overarching curvy lines that I put across like thighs and under the neck and across arms and shoulder regions. I can't really do that when I'm trying to be accurate to this. Lobaria, I started with it because it has a very veiny, cell feel to it. It feels like pockets, or like a little poppet thing, right? It's very veiny. Veiny's not the right word. I'm totally blanking on the correct terminology, but it's a weird word, so I don't think it actually would matter much. But it has these circles, and it does kind of, I think, ease into my art style a little bit better. I am trying to figure out where to make it a little bit more playfully me, where I can incorporate things where it's like obviously not a part of the base base lichen, and I can be kind of more carefree with my rendering, but I haven't really figured that out yet, because this is something that I want to be kind of accurate for the class. I was able to take up character design for this class if I wanted to make characters based on lichens or draw characters with lichens. I have one design. I'll try to remember to pop it up screen at some point in this video, but I just wasn't particularly feeling the making 15 to 20 characters based on lichens thing for school. I think it could be very fun outside of my academics, but I didn't really want the pressure on me to have to render them and to simplify my style enough to be able to pull it off by the deadline, and I just really didn't think I'd be able to maintain it, and these kind of smaller ink work things that I can very easily do while I'm sitting in my other classes isn't on the screen and just feels a little bit more, I guess, traditional is a little bit easier for me. I know it's kind of weird, but I've been doing college all online for almost 4 years now, and so when I get the opportunity to do my homework not on a screen, I generally like to, and so, doing it this way just feels a little bit nicer for me. It gives me a break from sitting on the computer, and I get to draw for my science class, so it's really like a win in every direction here. It is a really fun project. It is kind of hard on my wrist. I am trying to, do really fine details and working with the finest of my liners. This is mostly done in 0.05 and 0.1s, which not a big piece of paper, but with my poor health, it is kind of hard on my wrist to be that gentle and to kind of have to be that committed to being gentle. I'm pretty accustomed to, when I'm doing character designs, being able to go with a medium liner and mess up, like have my lines be horrible and just be able to thicken them up to cover up my mistakes, because I do really rely on really intense line weight shifts in the cracks and the crevices to indicate my shadows. I'm very, very fine in some spots and I am really thick in others. I very much like big, black, bold areas when it feels appropriate or a lot of hatching. And I have no issues completely changing a component of my design to cover up mistakes a lot of the time, because I incorporate that into my sketching process, understanding that when I'm lining, it is permanent. I can't erase it, and that I do have health issues that make having a steady hand and kind of make me have accidents sometimes where I jerk and I mess up, right? And so with that, I can incorporate it into my style a little bit more. Working this fine. It was really hard to cover up my accidents, so not as easy on me. It is a lot more, I guess, intense on the wrist would be the way of putting it. It just is a little bit harder overall for me. But I very much still love the process. It's just something I have to take more breaks from, or I can't do as much in one time, in one sitting, as I would like to. I could do a full page of line art, maybe 2 easily in one sitting if I'm working with bigger, bolder pens, but for this one, I cut out a lot of points where I was just sitting there staring at the paper because I was giving my hand a break, and it's just something that I have to work around. But yeah, I I kind of forgot about that when I was actually going through the inking process, and I'd start getting cramps and I'd be like, whoa, hold up, forgot about this. But overall, I am very, very excited about the project. I'm really happy. I cannot wait to have all of these. It's one of those things where I'm so excited to own my own art. I'm gonna have these and I can hold them and they're tangible and I can just flop them around. I love taking the end of a paper and giving it a good flop, and this is watercolor paper in the event that I choose to add color later. I'm not going to do it for class because I don't want to mess it up, but maybe I'll go in later and I'll add a nice wash of soft colors just to give it some more fun. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. If you guys want to see it with color, let me know, because I can actually go through that process just for the sake of it. I love owning my art. I don't mind messing up my own art, right? So, if you guys have anything you would like to see happen to this that doesn't require, like, lighting it on fire, or tearing it up, well, if I'm tearing it up artistically and you have a good explanation, I'll consider it. But yeah, if you guys want to see this get like a wash of color, it wouldn't be anything intense. This is watercolor paper, so I'm not going to use markers on it. And I'm not a watercolorist, so I'm actually like no idea what to do other than lay like one wash of color. But I'd be happy to do that. I'd be happy to give it some fun designs in the background. I love playing with my own art, even if I'm proud of it in one state. I don't mind messing it up knowing I might not like it, because I have pictures. I take pictures of all my work. I save it in files and stuff. I try to keep a good document setup of everything I've created, so that if I do have anything ever happen, my art still exists somewhere for me to look back on in the future. You know, a lot of my old childhood art is gone, it's destroyed in some capacity, it's missing, I have no idea where it ended up, things like that. And so generally I try to circumvent ever running into that issue or a much more major and upsetting tragedy happening, taking all of my old sketchbooks away. Like, just, yeah, no, like, accidents happen, you know, you can't prevent certain things from occurring, and I just want to ensure that I have documents of a lot of my work. And I don't have all of my sketchbooks scanned. I do want to do that one day, at least for myself, so that I can keep them somewhere digitally in case something ever happens to them. But in terms of my drawings like this, the smaller ones like this, I always take a picture of it and a scan. I try to do it with my camera, so I have it as a editable PSD file if I ever need something like that. PSD file? No, RAW. I have it RAW, so I can edit it if I ever want to do something with it like that. But yeah, I try to keep a good archive, so these will be archived, so I'm pretty comfortable like really messing with them, you know? That's such a tangent. I just went on such a tangent about storing your art in a computer file and in a drive in the cloud and on thumbnails and stuff. Thumbnails? Thumb drives. Thumb drives. Can you tell that I've just worked all day? But yeah, generally speaking, I'm if you guys want to see something happen to this, let me know. But I don't think anybody wants to see me light my work on fire, so I don't know if I have to worry about that one. So Lobaria pulmonaria, totally switching topics, guys. Sorry about that. I'm not sorry. You guys know I'm all over the place. If you're new, I'm sorry. If you're not new, you know I rant and have no script. You know I'm scriptless. Don't even act like you expected anything from me other than nothing coherent, right? Lobaria, such a silly type of lichen. Like, these circles, they can be so spot on to the actual reference to the Lobaria that I'm looking at. They never look right. I do not know what's up with this guy. This lichen just looks so odd to me. I'll try to remember to put a picture of like actual Lobaria up on the screen. I'll Google it right now so that I don't forget. But yeah, no, it just like it looks funny, and I know it's just what it looks like, but the cellular nature to it, I don't know. But yeah, tree lungwort. I should have probably introduced it as tree lungwort beforehand, so people might know it by that name. But yeah, I don't know. It's just hard to draw, guys. Okay, especially without color. I couldn't do those like bright highlights where the lighter greens and the deeper greens. I had to rely on those soft hatchings. I think I did a pretty good job overall. I definitely could have improved, but I do think that this was the appropriate starting point for me. I think that I see this lichen the most in my class, or I see it the most, I talk about it a lot in class, so I've encountered it enough times that I was able to play a little bit more with how I feel about it, and rely less on trying to copy the reference exactly, right? And I don't know, it kind of gets into that dichotomy of you should never go into a drawing not knowing what it looks like, but saying to yourself and allowing your brain to go through the process of saying, oh, I know what that looks like, right? I don't know if I ever talked about this, but I encountered it a few times in some of the beginner art courses I've taken. And it's the project or the assignment where you turn your drawing upside down and your reference upside down, and that kind of tricks your brain into not knowing what you're actually looking at, and so you can't rely on like your previous memory of what something looks like. Like, you don't know what a nose looks like because this is an upside down nose now, and it allows you to kind of distinguish the lines a little bit better. I think it actually does work pretty good. A lot of my classmates and peers at the time had a really good process with it. I think a lot of my peers did a really good job with that, and it very much was a moment where their work looked a lot closer to the reference in the original. I have this really weird thing where I can't, not really weird thing, I have two processing issues, two things I can't process correctly or just do correctly no matter how hard I try. One of those is proportions without guidelines, and the reference was on a screen, so I couldn't put my hand out to physically touch it and draw the guidelines I would usually rely on if I have a reference that I'm super unfamiliar with. And the sticking your arm out thumb trick just doesn't work for me. It's very uncomfortable too. I have a bad shoulder. So I don't know. I just have a really hard time figuring out how far apart my lines are supposed to be. And then I can't draw straight lines to save my life. Even with a ruler, I can't draw straight lines. I think I cut the part out where I spent 5 minutes trying to draw a straight line for it to not be straight with a ruler. But I can't do it. It's literally something I am incapable of doing well. So you can see later, I'll talk about it later, but I always try and have hatchy lines and extensions to my boxes, so it kind of hides the fact that I literally can't draw straight. I'm horrible at it. I think I talked about this in my video where I did my illustration literature ablaze because I had to do those bookshelves, and I was just I zoomed through the part where I spent I think 20 minutes with a ruler trying to get lines straight. I'm horrible. I'm literally bad at it. It's such a silly thing to be bad at. So I always found that was a particularly confusing assignment for me. My brain did not handle the upside down information particularly well, and I kept trying to just reflect it properly in my brain to be oh, it's upside down. But if I draw from the top, yeah, I don't know. It's always been one that's a little hard for me. I know a lot of my peers really liked it though, so I found that it works for a lot of people. If you ever feel like twisting your drawings and references upside down, well, your paper upside down and your reference upside down and going at it. I mean, the worst that happens is you produce a less than what you expected drawing, and I feel like that's just kind of a condition of artists, is to come away from a lot of your work having it not be as good as you expected, and then for you to kind of grow fond of it later, right? I don't know, maybe other people don't grow fond of it, but a lot of the times when I look at a drawing that I've done and I've just finished it, I'm I hate it. This is awful. It's ugly. I should burn it, right? And then I come back to it the next day and I'm that is a documentation of my artistic journey and I love it. And look at all of these nice characteristics and qualities to it that it has and all of those things. I know, maybe it's a little bit odd, but I feel I don't want to get too into AI art because if I were, I'd want to make a whole video talking about it. But I feel one of my favorite things about being an artist now that people are so chatty about AI art is seeing the physical art that I make and just seeing it, seeing my physically drawn stuff, even on my iPad for my digital works and then my traditional drawings. I'm AI art could never be like this, right? And I'm just I feel so proud of myself that I, as a human, created it, and I, as a living, breathing human individual with my mind, made all of the decisions for this piece to exist, and I did it. Someone else didn't do it for me. I did it for myself, and it is wholly my hand and my thoughts that created this thing and brought it into existence, right? And so that's something that, I don't know, I just feel like so magical about. I think AI art has brought me the existence of it has brought me a greater appreciation for just how remarkable artists, like proper artists, are at creating art. Like how our brains have to work for us to bring stuff into the world by our hand, and like the skills. It made me really appreciate just how dedicated we are to our crafts. Even if we are hobbyists, or even if we only draw a couple times a year, if we only complete one full drawing a year, that dedication is something that computers will never have, right? And it's just something that makes me feel so like magical and like extra fond about other artists. And I made a new YouTube account for my channel because I wanted it to have my email, like my artist email with it, because I have my website where I have my unupdated portfolio. I don't think I've updated my portfolio in a few months, actually, now that I think about it, and I should do that. But I made a new channel, and so I don't have all of my old subscriptions and stuff on here, and I've really been able to start the subscribing process from scratch, really just kind of subscribing based on the existence of me as an actual creator in the space, and me as somebody who does stuff here. And that has also been something so much more like magical and wonderful, right? Because a lot of the people I subscribe to on my main YouTube account, where I have my non-art related YouTube subscriptions, that's where I watch like documentaries and financial videos and stuff like that. That tends to push me a lot of big creators and stuff like that, because a lot of the creators who were small when I started watching on that account 6 years ago, I think now, they're bigger now, you know? Like, I was a subscriber to Drawing with Waffles when they were super small, right? And Bailey J back when she was doing her blind drawing challenges. And I think I was watching when the My Strange Addiction video to Copics came out, and these creators are a lot bigger now. And somehow, oddly enough, in the process of growing up with these artists and their channels, I didn't even realize it was happening, but I wasn't being recommended a lot of small artists anymore. And I wasn't even being recommended a lot of artists in general, because I've watched so many videos on that account for school. So I get recommended a lot of science stuff, and I enjoy watching science content. Yes, tell me about plants for 3 hours straight. I would love to hear it, right? And so in making my YouTube account, or my channel on YouTube, and actually having it and exploring it, I was given an opportunity to really just remember what it's like to engage with artists again, right? I don't know, I kind of moved away from the YouTube art community as a consumer for a really long time, because Instagram was a better place back then to interact with artists. Not like better than YouTube, but it was a better place than it is now. And I had an account, and I was an artist over there, and it was so, I'm an artist and I want to interact with artists on the platform I'm creating art on. And I guess somewhere along the way I just stopped getting recommended artists in general, and new artists. And so I found so many amazing creators starting this channel and getting YouTube to recommend me that type of stuff that I really, really enjoy consuming. I think it's definitely like interpreting me as a creator on the platform, and then recommending me creators that are a similar size to me and seem like I'd be interested in based on the stuff I create, which is really, really fun. It feels like school again. No, I'm kidding. But it definitely feels very, very communal, free. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I've never had that experience in my life where I've had art mutuals where I can be an artist with them and I can love their work and they can love my work, or we can draw together and things like that. When it comes to my university courses, right, I can't go on campus because of my health. I can't make the commute, and I couldn't handle like a 3-hour college environment anymore. I could when I was a little bit younger, taking community college classes back in high school. I was able to handle it, but right around the time I graduated high school was right about the time where my health got to a point where it was very much starting to take a major toll on me. And I was not really like recovering on my non-school days enough to be able to keep up with myself, right? And so I didn't do things like apply for the BFA program in my third year, right? When I could have. I guess I could have enrolled in my BFA sooner if I wanted to, but I wasn't an art major for my first 2 years of college, just botany. Just botany. Like that's not a, like, major degree. Definitely not a PhD, but like, damn, these plant sciences are no joke. They're kind of a lot. Right? But, I didn't apply for the BFA, so I never had that kind of in-studio experience where I had art mutuals and we hung out together and we created art in the same room as each other. Those situations in colleges where people can walk around and stuff like that and come up to your art and ask you questions, and they don't have a way for me to participate in the gallery space because of my health. I can't put it up, right? I can't get it there. They don't have a way for me to print it there. I don't have a printer like that at home. And they wouldn't be able to get it picked up from a printing place if I ordered it and stuff like that, and nowhere ships. Long story short, I can't participate in the gallery like I would like to, and so I don't have these like audiences in my like physical, tangible, off the internet life where I can talk about my art for 50 minutes straight, or I can rant about the chaos of drawing Lobaria. We're not talking about how messed up this line was. Like, I trusted the line from the night before. I should not have. Like, look at how bad the night before line was. Oh, geez. But it's fine. I made it work, right? So, maybe my art's just goofy, and I have no shame in my art looking goofy at this point because I know I can't do anything right, honestly. Right? Yep. No. I literally was like slightly dreading how goofy it would look, and then like now when I look at it I'm like, yep, nope, I can't draw straight lines. It's okay. No one will know. No one would know if I didn't confess. It would probably look like a bad stylistic choice. Not, I can't draw straight lines, right? Like, if I didn't tell anybody, someone would think this was like an artistic decision, not me just not being able to do anything, right? Fizzgig's here, by the way. Fizzgig, and then Smudge comes by, so, the kids are all harassing me while I work. But I think I was talking about something relevant, but I don't remember what it was. So, YouTube, artist, love artist. I love artist. I love art mutuals. I love the space. I love watching art content. I love engaging with you guys. I love seeing. I would love for YouTube Shorts to realize that I want art content and that I really don't want acting challenges and people just lip syncing to songs. Like, I mean, good for you. Have fun. I want to see artists on my Shorts page, though, and I don't know how to make YouTube understand my video consumption choices and translate that to Shorts yet. I haven't figured out how to, like, really curate my Shorts feed yet. But I also want to see more of these more creators on here that don't make a lot of long form content but still show their arts a lot in shorts. I'm very, very excited to get kind of a little bit more engaged in that. When YouTube Shorts really starts to like show me what I want to see, cosplay and art and science stuff. You know, maybe that's my problem. Maybe this is why YouTube doesn't know what I want. And legal stuff. I like a lot of, I like watching LawTube. So, you know, maybe I just have too many interests for YouTube to understand. You know, that could be my problem. But this is just very, very nice. I don't know. I guess just, I love it here. I don't know how to describe it. But this is like the best hobby I've ever picked up. That's a lie. Art's a hobby, technically. I'm planning to be a professor, an art professor, not a professional artist. So, being a YouTube artist is the second best hobby I've picked up, because the art hobby is better. Not gonna lie. But I don't know, when you guys comment and you guys are like, I love your works, and give me like your thoughts on my OCs and talk about your lives and stuff, like it's so special. I don't know, I like fangirl over the fact that like people like my art and want to talk to me because they like my art. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's just such a magical experience. Like I don't know how to articulate effectively that people liking my art and listening to me talk about my art and things relevant to my art and things completely irrelevant to my art is like just so nice, you know? I had always wanted art friends in my real life. I guess my physical real life. But this just not something that's ever like came my way. I've never really connected with somebody who creates art so that I could kind of have that kind of situation where I could talk to an art friend who does art and we could share art things together. And so, I don't know. I guess I found it on the internet. So I guess I'm winning. I'm not winning against pulmonaria. Nope. Lobaria pulmonaria, and the fact that these zoom-ins are stressful. They're stressful. I only actually did one full page on camera for this video. I ended up working on one of my Cladonia pieces. By the way, I hate Cladonia. That genus is such a pain. Very, very cute. Cladonias are very, very cute. Horrible to key out. 0 out of 10 experience. I never want to key another Cladonia in my life. Right? But once was enough, right? But they're the pixie cup lichens. I think that's what they're known best as, being the pixie cup lichens. They're not all pixie cups. One of them is called Cladonia, I think, Pixicus? I don't know. But it actually is named pixie cup, basically. So I guess that's a win, right? Like, one of them has a really, really solid name. Doesn't really change the fact that there's like 50 other Cladonias that look the exact same and are also like pixie cups. Doesn't really change that fact. But I only did one physically on camera, but you see some of the other work I did, and I'm running out of time. Oh no. But thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I had wanted to film more. I didn't know if this was interesting. And like if you like, dislike if you dislike, subscribe if you want to see more of my content, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you are. Just, yeah, I hope it's wonderful. And thank you. Bye-bye!